Hi friends, it's Rachel. Welcome back to Growing Up Green. Today we are going to talk about eating with the season. What's eating with the season? Well, eating with the season is eating foods that grow in your area during a specific time of year. Do you know what season we're in right now? We're in summer. And there are so many yummy fruits and vegetables that are ripe and ready to eat in the summer. But why would you want to eat with the season? Well, there's a couple different reasons. One is that foods that are in season at the peak of their ripeness taste delicious. There's nothing better to me than a perfect, juicy, ripe peach that just got picked off a tree. Also, foods that are picked recently are healthier. Foods that have had to travel a long distance and sat on a shelf at a store for a long time before you bring them home and eat them are going to have less vitamins and nutrients and things that are good for your body in them. So eating food that just came from a farm is extra healthy. Also, it helps you support local farmers. When you're eating seasonally, you're just eating what the farm is producing in your area at any given time. So it's really good to support local farmers and buy the delicious fruits and veggies they grow for us. Another reason to eat with the season is that it's good for the environment. When you can buy food that comes from an area close to your home, then your food doesn't have to take a big long trip on an airplane or boats or trucks to get to you. Did you know that when you buy a banana from a store, it can come from as far away as Vietnam in Asia or Costa Rica in Central America? Your grapes that you buy probably came from Chile in South America. And that's okay to buy things like that, but it's even better for the earth if you can avoid it, if you can buy foods that were grown locally and didn't have to travel very far to get to you. So let's check out what's in season right now at my community garden. There are so many things that I bet you would love to eat. All right, friends, let's start in my garden bed and see what's ready to harvest. Here we have a gorgeous cucumber. This is a variety called Muncher, and I am so excited to munch on it. Do you eat cucumbers? If you're eating cucumbers right now, then you are eating seasonally because cucumbers are ripe in the summer. Right below the cucumbers, we've got some basil. I love to put basil in my sandwiches, in my salads, on my pizza, and in my pasta. There are so many yummy ways to use basil. Moving on, we've got some tomatoes. Look at those big guys. Down here at the bottom, this one's almost ripe. It doesn't look ripe though, does it? This is a special kind of tomato called White Wonder that does not turn red, but it just turns a creamy light yellow color. And let me tell you, they are really tasty. Over here, I've got some more beautiful orange tomatoes and some red cherry tomatoes. I'm gonna make a great tomato tart later today. Down here, friends, we've got some beets. Beets are usually a spring or a fall crop, but I planted mine a little bit late and I am still harvesting them, so that's seasonal for me. Whoa, what do you think this big bush is? Let's take a closer look. This is a blackberry bush. Look at that gorgeous ripe blackberry. I am so excited for blackberry season. I like eating blackberries all year, so I'm going to freeze some to use in my smoothies, and I'm going to turn some others into jam. That way I have the yummy taste of summer, even when it's the middle of winter. Look at those gorgeous peppers. They are ready to be picked and eaten. I love eating peppers all summer, but I also love eating them in the other seasons, even when they're not growing. You can still eat with the season and enjoy peppers all year round, but instead of buying fresh peppers at the grocery store in the winter, I try to pick extra peppers in the summer and then preserve them to eat later. That way, they're still full of nutrition, they're still super flavorful and yummy, and they were still good for the environment because I bought them or picked them locally. I like to preserve peppers by roasting them and pickling them and then canning them in jars. I also will cut them into slices and put them in the freezer. Then, when I want to make a soup or a stir fry in the winter, I'll just pull out my bag of peppers and sprinkle some into my food. Remember how I said there's nothing better than eating a juicy peach right off the tree? It's almost time! Something fun that I've noticed as I've started to eat more and more seasonally is that when a certain food is in season, I eat so much of it. I'll eat a peach every day for weeks. But then I'll start to get a little tired of them. But usually by that time, the season is over and that food is not available anymore. I'll preserve some for when I get a craving later on in the year, but when you eat seasonally, you kind of don't miss the food when it's not around because you ate so much of it when it was super delicious. Eating a peach in winter just feels a little strange to me, and it never tastes as good as the ones in the summer. Maybe you've noticed the same thing. Have you picked a fresh strawberry from a farm in June and then eaten a strawberry from the grocery store in January? They taste really different. We've seen a lot of fruits and veggies that are ripe right now in the summer season. What about the other seasons? There's spring, fall, and winter. What do we eat then? Well, we've got something right here that will be ready to eat in a few months in the fall. Apples! Fruits like apples and pears are at their peak in the fall months. Vegetables like pumpkins, winter squash, sweet potatoes are also ready to harvest in the fall. Then there are foods that you can grow in the spring and the fall because they like a little bit of cooler weather. We've got kale, lettuce, broccoli, all kinds of different leafy greens are at their peak when the weather is a little bit cooler. What about the winter? Well, here in North Carolina, we're lucky because some things grow year-round here. Things like herbs, thyme, and oregano, you can harvest all throughout the winter to add in a little seasonal flavor to your dish. You can also eat things that you preserved in the other seasons. There are also vegetables that you can harvest in the fall and they will stay fresh and yummy for a long time. Things like pumpkins and other winter squash, sweet potatoes, white potatoes, onions, and garlic all stay fresh for a long time when they're stored in a cool, dry place. Wow, look at everything I was able to harvest in my garden just today. I have a lot of seasonal eating to do. Thanks for joining me today on Growing Up Green to check out all the foods that are in season right now. Are you inspired to eat in season? Maybe you already are and you don't even know it. If you're eating things like peppers, tomatoes, cucumbers, blueberries, raspberries, blackberries, peaches, all of those are in season right now. It's a fun way to help us pay more attention to what we're eating and to think about where it comes from. I hope that you try to eat a little more seasonally. Remember, it's delicious, it's nutritious, and it's good for our local farmers and for the earth in general. I'll see you next Saturday. Bye!